All right.
That's still a fairly new camera, right?
Yeah, well, I don't use the video feature on this very often, so yeah. So just look at me, not at the camera. And I'm just asking some basic questions about like why you're here, what you learned, that kind of stuff. So no big deal, nothing heartbreaking. And terse is okay, but if it's terse and I want more, then I'll probably dig a little bit deeper. So.
Fair enough.
Okay, so first of all, why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Yeah. I'm Natalie Dejarlais, and I am an ex-Groupian. Worked with you, Eugene, last year at Groupia, and that's how I knew about the boot camp.
And what are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm working at a small nonprofit in San Francisco that focuses on LGBTI refugees.
So why did you sign up for Changemaker Bootcamp?
The primary reason is because having worked with you for the last year, I know that you tend to be engaged in really interesting and innovative things. And so I knew that if you were involved, it was going to be something interesting. So that's the primary reason. But secondarily, the way that you targeted the boot camp, which is to people who are not C-level but want to increase their skills in collaboration and interaction in general, that appealed to me because I'm not somebody who even aspires to be at the top level of an organization, but I'm always interested in increasing my skill level and becoming more adept at whatever it is, facilitating meetings, facilitating conversations, helping with collaboration of any sort.
What were you hoping to learn from this process?
I think I came in with a really open mind, so I didn't come in with a set goal per se, but I think I was hoping to leave with greater skills around those areas of facilitation and collaboration and human engagement.
So how did it go?
Well, I've been thinking about this knowing that we were going to be talking about it, and I think that it feels like this was almost like a teaser smorgasbord. It almost feels like any of the sessions that you've held so far could lead into its own boot camp. So I've been thinking that it would be nice to continue to follow up on some of the concepts and really delve into them more deeply and have more review and reinforcement, kind of, and more discovery even. Because I know that you've been focusing on practice and having us discover latent skills within and discover that we know more than we think we do and so on. I think even more development along those lines would be incredibly useful. So it feels like I've gotten a taste of a number of things and could really benefit from going even further.
Are there any particular topics that you would be interested in delving deeply into or that you really benefited from through this bootcamp experience?
I think I mentioned on the water cooler that I would love a boot camp dedicated to difficult conversations. Mm-hmm. I think that was a really interesting session. And it was fascinating to see a couple of people who were really good at that kind of communication, or it seemed to me that they were really good. A couple of us are less comfortable with that kind of communication. So that was one that, excuse me, I really feel like has a lot of potential. I think all of the topics have potential. The power dynamics topic, I think, has a lot of follow-up that we could continue to discuss and so on. One of the interesting things about this is that even though I feel like I haven't gotten deeply into any of these topics, it's given me the ability to bring up some of these topics at work. Mm-hmm. In a way, it's been permission, and it's also given me some credibility around them in terms of bringing up the topics, because in a way they're almost forbidden topics in a sense. I mean, if you bring up difficult conversations or power dynamics, like why? What's wrong? Why would you be bringing that up?
Mm-hmm.
So and people at work have been interested in what this is. So it's been really nice for me to be able to talk about it and bring up some of these topics. We can engage in more at work as well.
When people at work ask you what this is, what do you tell them?
Well, I've typically told them I'm still figuring that out, and what I've done is kind of describe some of the exercises that we've done to give them a flavor of the types of activities that we've been doing and how, by practicing what we already know or what emerges, turns out to be a lot of the learning that takes place.
What would you say is your single biggest takeaway from this whole experience?
That a group of really smart, talented women hold a lot of wisdom, and that putting them together and putting a topic in front of them is going to reveal a lot of experience and perspectives that is incredibly valuable and impressive.
Would you do boot camp again?
Yeah, I would. And I in particular, delving more deeply into certain topics, I think would be really interesting. It could be interesting to go even through boot camp again as it currently stands, in part because I would have an idea already of what you're doing, and I might just have a slightly different take on it. Okay? So, yeah.
Would you recommend it to others?
Yeah, I would. I was thinking earlier today that in a way this feels like a little bit of an extension of Rupaya. Had I not had the Rupaya experience last year, I was wondering whether this would have been more surprising and revelatory, or whether I would have been more lost. And I'm not really sure. I suspect it would have been the former. But just having seen how you yourself work transparently and in collaboration and with great honesty, this was, you brought that kind of setup to the boot camp, which I found to be really interesting, and that's kind of the continuation of Papaya that I sensed. So, but that was a very new experience for me coming into Papaya, so that's where this perspective comes from.
Any final thoughts? Anything else you'd like to say about the whole experience, about life?
No, I hope that you continue to explore this and see what you do with this. And you're so far doing a great job of attracting really good participants who are key to the process, I think. So keep that Rolodex flying, to get good people in. And thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yep.